Mic check, 1, 2, 3, 4. Am I loud? Am I clear? Is anybody out there? Ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna be live in just 9 minutes and 40 seconds breaking down the gold and silver news. We're gonna watch the market open together, and yes, I have a special guest coming on in just a little bit. He's epic, he's well known, he's bald. Ladies and gentlemen, Bald Guy Money's gonna be on the show as well. We're going to be live in just 9 minutes and 20 seconds, breaking it all down. We're going to watch the COMEX reopen after being shut closed all weekend. We're going to answer your questions. Who's ready to party? Drop a crab in chat right now. We're going to be live in just 9 minutes and 5 seconds. Let's go. Smash that like button. Yeah, the voice is definitely a lot better. It's definitely a lot better. Thank you. Smash that like, everybody. Who's ready? Thank you, Amina, for the dancing piñata. Thank you. Thank you, Joe, for becoming a member. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be live in just 7 minutes and 55 seconds breaking down the gold and silver breaking news. We're going to watch the COMEX open back after being shut all weekend. The Shanghai Futures Exchange is still shut tight for the holidays. And we're going to have Bald Guy Money on the stream tonight. It's all coming up soon. Smash the like button if you're ready there. Thank you, KTM, for the thumbs up. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, when I was yelling about silver and it was $13 an ounce, people said I was crazy. They said I was insane. They said I was a silver pumper. Thank you, Track, for that little dog running. But I kept stacking anyway because I knew the fundamentals. I knew about silver and gold. And then it hit 20, 30, 40, 50. We went to 120. They smashed us down to 60. But I knew it wasn't over. I kept stacking. The road's gonna be long, dark, and full of terrors, but if you have intestinal fortitude to see the way through, you will be celebrating with me in the streets. Not a financial advisor, just some dude on the internet with crabs, but ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna be live here in just 6 minutes and 30 seconds, breaking it all down. We're gonna watch the COMEX open, Shanghai shut tight for a few more days. I'm gonna have Bald Guy Money on the stream, answering your questions here live. If you're ready, smash the like button. We're gonna be live in just 6 minutes and 15 seconds. If you're still stacking, if you're unshaken, let me know in chat. Do you have intestinal fortitude? Let's go! Yes! Ladies and gentlemen, we're just 5 minutes and 30 seconds away from being live. Please smash the like button, share the stream. I put it out on X. If you could retweet that, I would appreciate it. We're going to be watching the COMEX open up. We're going to be covering breaking gold and silver news, the gold and silver watchouts for the week. And yes, Bald Guy Money, the stacker who is bald in Poland, will be on the stream live. Ladies and gentlemen, buckle up. 5 minutes and 10 seconds till we're live here.
treasure, riches untold. International stacker, here to say, mill. Coins and bars, rare to find. Treasure hunting, one of a kind. Join the crew, let's explore. Stack up wealth and so much more.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be live in just 4 minutes and 10 seconds. So we're going to watch the COMEX open back up. I've got breaking gold and silver news for you guys. We're going to be going over the watch out situations for gold and silver for the entire week. And yes, Ball Guy Money's on the stream tonight. It's going to be a crazy. Smash the like button if you're ready. Share the stream.
Silver dream shining bright. Roll the dice, take a chance. Treasure calls, we're in a dance. Silver shines, gold's the glow. Stack it high, watch it grow. Giveaways for all, feel the thrill.
Who's ready?
International, stack 'em that mill. So hit that flow, join the quest. Riches await. You're the best international stacker. Stacking.
Thank you, Jimmy Reefer. Thank you.
Where you belong.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be live here in just 3 minutes and 10 seconds, breaking it all down. We're going to watch the COMEX Open, breaking gold and silver news. Smash the like button if you're ready. Share the stream. Ladies and gentlemen, T-minus 3 minutes until we launch here.
So hit that sub. Join the quest. Riches await. You're the best international stacker. Stacking strong. Silver.
Thank you, Amina, for the DJing cat. And for all the new people here from Ball Guy Money's channel, we have mini games in chat, so you can put exclamation point games, exclamation point commands. It will tell you how to play it. Enjoy, sit back, relax. We're going to be live here in 2 minutes and 30 seconds. Who's feeling mega tonight?
Crabs are grooving side to side. Ocean waves where dreams collide. Claws are up, the beat we chase. Treasure gleaming, golden space. Get your claws up, don't delay.
Thank you, KTM. Ladies and gentlemen, 2 minute warning. Let's get a crab dance going. If you're ready to party, drop a crab in chat right now. Let's get a crab dance going. We're going to be live in 1 minute and 55 seconds.
And silver is the key. Crustacean nation, dance with me.
Let's get it.
Gold and silver, who wants it all? Are you ready for the mega goal?
Thank you, Swag Dad, for becoming a member. You are mega.
Brigade, treasures found, the music's
1 minute and 25 seconds.
claws up, don't delay. Join the party night and day. Gold and silver is the key.
Let's go.
Nation, dance with me.
1 minute warning. 1 minute warning till we're live here.
Tidal rhythms in the sand, shiny spoils laid by hand. We're the crew, the shell brigade, treasures found, the music's
All right, do you guys want the little kid intro, the old school intro, or the crab migration intro? Let me know right now. We got 40 seconds till we're live. Which intro do you guys want?
gold and silver is the key. Crustacean nation.
No, Swag Daddy. No chaps in the war room. Come on. Let's get it.
Dance with me.
Here we go. We're about to go in.
Dance with me.
Thank you, Silver King. Thank you, Silver King. Here we go.
Dance with me.
One stacker on a journey to find silver. International stacker.
What is up, ladies and gentlemen? The name's International Stacker coming to you live from Key West, Florida, where I'm closer to Cuba than a Walmart. 68,600 subscribers. That means I owe you at least one big show tonight. And ladies and gentlemen, you're never going to believe it. We're only 54 subscribers away from 68,700. And guys, you're going to want to subscribe because soon I'm doing the mega giveaway. Everything in this chest I'm giving away to you. Over 48 ounces of silver. We've got gold. We've got copper. I'm giving it all the way to you. And guys, I'm going to be adding something absolutely epic in there tonight. We'll do that a little bit later. And all you got to do is subscribe and join the party. So let me break down where gold and silver was at. Then I'm going to cover some breaking gold and silver news and the gold and silver watchouts of the week. And then we're going to be bringing in bald guy money when the market goes live. We're going to be doing it all tonight. So if you're ready, buckle up, grab a beverage, smash that like button, and let me know where you are at in the world. I just mentioned I'm closer to Cuba than a Walmart in Key West, Florida. What country are you watching from right now? Please put it in chat and what you are sipping on. So, ladies and gentlemen, what a turbulent week for gold and silver the last week. Silver on the close of the trading session on Friday ended up 2.18%. And on the week, it was like 0.2% up. So silver for the week eked out a percentage up, and it finished at $75.36, hitting a high of $76.99 on Friday and a low of down in the low 70s. But ladies and gentlemen, we are ready for an open here, and the markets are going to be opening in just 18 minutes, and we're going to be watching that live. It did end in contango, so the silver futures price was higher than the current or the spot price it closed on. So when the futures price is higher, more expensive, that's called contango. That is normal market operation. So look at this in chat. Wow, guys. Wow. We've got France. Parlez-vous français, ça va? We've got Florida. We've got Texas. We got the Netherlands. We got the North Pole. Whoa. We got Texas, Ohio in the chat. We've got Carolina. We've got Mars. Wow. Iowa. We got Dallas. We got Bulgaria. Nice. Hey, we got Poland. Since I was in Poland, and the bald money guy will come on in a bit, but he speaks Polish, so I got to get my Polish ready. And all I remember from visiting Viola was Dziękuję bardzo. There you go. We got Maryland in the chat. We've got Germany. Sprechen Sie Deutsch. We got the UK. We've got Kuwait. Assalamu alaikum, habibi. We got everyone from around the world tuning in. And gold had an epic day on Friday as well. On Friday, it hit a high of 4,660.105. It closed on a red candle at 4,613.84. The question, ladies and gentlemen, when we open in just 17 minutes, do you think gold and silver are going to go up? Or are they going to go down? Are you team green going up or are you team red going down? On Friday, actually, gold was down on Friday, 0.18%. Gold to silver ratio ceased for the weekend at 61.22 ounces of silver for every ounce of gold. In the Shanghai Futures Exchange, it's closed. It is closed, I think, till the 5th. So for maybe 1 or 2 more days, it is closed. It is the equivalent of like Labor Day in China. It's been closed for like 5 days. We sat here one stream waiting for it to open, and it didn't open, and then we did research and found that out. So usually the Shanghai Futures Exchange opens at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, but unfortunately we won't be doing that tonight. So let me break down the breaking gold and silver news for you guys, and then we're going to go to market open, and at that time we're going to bring on the bald guy, the bald stacker, the man, the myth, the legend from Poland. He will be coming on, Bald Guy Money. So if you're ready for a bald stacker to come on, put bald and stat in chat. But ladies and gentlemen, let me go over the breaking gold and silver news. Now, if you want to stay up to news anytime, day or night, make sure you follow me on X, previously known as Twitter, at INTLStacker, International When It Fit, because all the time I have breaking gold and silver news, and I'm going to jump into that right now. So smash that like button, take a sip of your beverage, let's jump right into it. Now, the first piece there I said, what does all fiat money have in common when not backed by physical gold and silver? It eventually goes to zero, but first it goes to millions, billions, and even trillions. Look at this from Faytux Network. Look at this. The Iranian rial, last week I reported it was 1.8 million rials to every $1. It's plummeted. It's now 1.912 million rials to every dollar. And guys, that's why we stack this stuff, physical silver. That's why we stack physical gold. This stuff in your hand, it can't be margin called. It can't be liquidated. It's a great weapon for home defense. But all throughout history, all the big bankers, the governments, the experts tell you to stack this stuff. Paper, fiat, currency. And all throughout history, every paper fiat currency ever made has eventually gone to zero. And ladies and gentlemen, it's repeated time and time again. And as I plop down my big old fat stack of Vietnam dong here, I want to remind you, it got so bad in Zimbabwe, they went to millions. Then they went to billions, and they literally went to trillions. And to tie this all together and why you should stack physical gold and silver, and of course I'm not a financial advisor, just some dude on the internet with crabs. This one silver coin, this Bolivar from Venezuela from 1912, 90% silver. This thing is still worth $60-ish. It is worth more than all this paper currency. So as the bankers, the politicians, the financial experts tell you to save your blood, sweat, and tears on this stuff, this is the stuff that stands the test of time every time. And unfortunately, they're finding that out in Iran right now as their money is starting its trip on the train of hyperinflation. Now, here's another watch out situation for this week, ladies and gentlemen, for gold and silver. Buckle up. Watch out situation for gold and silver. Breaking from Mario. Trump just announced, before we went live, Project Freedom, a U.S.-led operation to escort trapped ships out of the Strait of Hormuz starting on Monday. Dozens of neutral vessels from countries with no role in the conflict have been stuck in the strait, running low on food and supplies. Trump says the U.S. will guide them safely out as a humanitarian gesture. Ladies and gentlemen, buckle up. This is a watch-out situation. A ship could hit a mine. Iran could harass ships with their little fast boats. Or nothing could happen. I don't know. But when there's instability, there's big movements, there's big chaos. Remember, it seems as though lately a lot of tweets and headlines have been moving the markets more than fundamentals. So keep that in the back of your pocket. Big week ahead here, guys. Here are the weekly watch-outs for gold and silver. I try to do these every week. Sometimes I forget. But here are the key events to watch this year. And thank you, Silver King, for the super chat saying trash is cash. Man, I agree with you on that one.
It's science.
Okay, so here's the key events to watch out for this week. Tomorrow, Monday, we're going to have the factory orders. This is the gauge of manufacturing strength in the United States. Then Tuesday, we're going to have the ADP private payrolls. But this is essentially a preview of the forthcoming jobs data. And then on Friday, May 8th, that's the big one. We're going to have the non-farm payrolls and unemployment rate. So the jobs data is going to come out, and that has and can and will traditionally move the market in one way or another. Also, there's a possibility for multiple Fed speakers expected throughout the week, and geopolitics is the big one. Literally, we just had a major geopolitical issue happen right before we went live. That, what is it called? The transport of freedom happening. So with Iranian tensions, they remain elevated as President Trump rejected the latest proposal. So Iran sent in a proposal. He rejected it. And now it looks as though the war powers clock has been reset. So if the president was to take military action again, it appears he would have another 60 days. That means more Strait of Hormuz disruptions. That means second, third, and fourth order effects, ladies and gentlemen. Remember, every day normally, except for the last 63 or 4 now we're up to, every single day, 20 to 25% of the world's oil passes through the strait. 25 to 30% of the world's liquid natural gas pass through their fertilizer, pass through their aluminum. 40% of the world's sulfuric acid or the elements to make it pass through there. 30% of the world's helium every single day, and that's not been happening. We're going to continue to have second, third, and fourth order impacts. Be careful. Potential setups, ladies and gentlemen, and this is the current market behavior. It's not the normal, but if we have escalation and conflict, short-term pressure on precious metals, that's because of a stronger dollar and rate fears. If it's de-escalation and peace, we could see some more upside in metals, and that could be rate cut expectations, etc. However, that's not normally what we've seen in the past, but remember, history doesn't repeat. History rhymes. The cycle is being driven more by interest rates and the dollar than pure safe haven demand. And a lot of people are seeing the core oil move up and then metals go down. So a lot of people are thinking that, oh, if oil moves up, metals goes down. That's not the correlation. It's more based on the dollar. We'll get more into that in a little bit. And guys, ladies and gentlemen, Jeff Stout. Jeff Stout just gifted 5 International Stacker memberships. Thank you so much. Those went to Crapo. It went to Verdon. It went to Color. It went to Silver, and it went to JRH. Say thank you to Jeff Stout. Check out your new custom channel member emojis. And ladies and gentlemen, I hate to say it, no soup for John.
Please, sir, I want some more.
No soup for John.
Taste the soup.
We tried. No soup for John.
Good soup.
No soup for John.
No soup for you.
No soup for John. It's all
Hang in there, John. You're going to get your soup one of these days. And one of these days, we might be seeing aliens. So tonight's discussion, aliens. Bald Money Guy tweeted this out earlier. It's a fun tweet, but maybe we'll talk about aliens tonight. I don't know. But he said there are a lot of crazy theories about gold out there. By far the craziest is that humans were genetically engineered to love gold because we were designed to mine it for aliens. I'm just putting that out there. Source 1980s Coast to Coast AM with Art Bell. Ladies and gentlemen, have the aliens constructed us to get gold for them? I don't know. Okay, here's the next piece of news here. Serious one. Though silver is about to become the unsung hero of the robotics revolution. Big shout out to Eric Young. He's on the ground in China. Great resource. He's known as King Kong. He just dropped a monster breakdown. Ladies and gentlemen, robots are exploding from 5 million units today. And guys, I have a robot in my house. I have one of those little Roombas. We all have probably more robots than we know in our everyday life. 5 million units today, potentially to a 1 billion by 2050. That's a prediction by Morgan Stanley. Each advanced humanoid could use anywhere between 10 and 20 grams of silver for sensors, connectors, power, electronics, motors, and more. That's hundreds of millions of ounces of permanent industrial demand coming on top of solar, EVs, AI. Guys, remember, this stuff right here, silver, it's the best conductor of electricity. It's the most reflective metal. It has some of the best thermodynamic properties. It's antibacterial. The demand for this is going to continue to go up. We're in our 6th year of an industrial deficit in the world. We consume more than we produce. Last year, we produced about 835 million, consumed something like 1.2 billion. This year, it's projected to be 1.3 billion. And remember, we hit peak mining output in 2016, and every year since then has decreased 1 to 3%. The situation can only get better with more mines, and more mines take anywhere from 10 to 15 years from exploration to getting the ore out of the ground. And guys, even Elon Musk here says that he thinks there's going to be billions of humanoid robots and not the too distant future here. So this is a post put out here by Eric Young, and it shows what might be coming. So the demand for silver is only going to increase, ladies and gentlemen, so buckle up. And my question here is, can you ride the bull? And this one, ladies and gentlemen, is from Carl. And guys, we're going to be going to the charts here in about 8 minutes, and we will be there for the market open, and Bald Guy Money, will be joining us at that point. But Carl here is saying silver 200-day moving average has been hitting new all-time highs every day for more than a year. That is a bull market. So as we're watching the charts and it's going up and down and all that, literally the 200-day moving average has been making all-time highs. That is absolutely insane. And this was the Bald Guy. I was on a stream earlier. Thank you for the shout-out, Bald Guy. We'll be talking to you shortly. Here's one. This was sent to me. The idea, the preface for this was sent to me by one of you, a member of Crustacean, NJ. So shout out to NJ. This is a powerful but perfect real-world comparison for silver's value, ladies and gentlemen. Important note, this is not a perfect one-for-one comparison, because in the early 1800s, a horse was essentially transportation, so a car of our era, while today a high-end trained horse are more of a luxury item. But listen to this. Still, the illustration is eye-opening. Early 1800s, a good quality horse typically cost $80 to $150. When silver was around $1.25 an ounce, that's roughly 60 to 120 ounces. Today, a comparable high-quality trained horse is $12,000 to $20,000. If silver still held the same similar purchasing power, it would be trading for roughly $100 to $333 per ounce right now. This offers one perspective on how silver's purchasing power compares to tangible assets over time. And again, according to channel member NJ, nothing explains real value more than the cost of a horse. Of course. Guys, do I still sound like Mr. Ed? My voice has been hoarse for like 2 days now, but I think it's getting better. Here's another important piece of news here. China has quietly consumed 38,000 metric tons of physical silver for solar, EVs in just 20 years. Guys, think what's going to happen when humanoid robots are put in there. That's over 1.2 billion ounces of real silver permanently removed from the global market. Remember, the majority of gold ever mined is still above ground. It's in vaults. Some of it's in my teeth. I've got 2 gold crowns. Who's part of the Gold Tooth Club? Put Gold Tooth in chat. But the majority of silver is destroyed. It's blown up on battlefields. It's thrown away in e-waste. It's literally in landfills with houses built on top of it. It's gone forever. Solar alone went for 180 million ounces per year. EVs added another 30 million. That's electric vehicles. This is structural industrial demand on steroids, and it's only accelerating. If you want to read more, here's some charts and more information from Eric Young, aka King Kong. Ladies and gentlemen, and boy is a wild one. Here's a fun post from earlier. I put this one out last night. Golden Tempo wins the Kentucky Derby. Is this a sign? Guys, is it a sign? Is it a sign that Golden Tempo won the Kentucky Derby? I don't know. But my question to you is, were you shaken out? And don't be upset to say it. Say, I was shaken out. Were you shaken out? And here's the quote. Weak hands shaken out. Shorts liquidated. Silver is leading. The real move is just starting. And ladies and gentlemen, this is from Resource Alpha talking about where we're at with the gold and silver market. And we're going to be talking about that. And guys, Bald Guy has some pretty epic predictions for gold and silver, which we're going to be covering. So put on your seatbelt if you're ready for that. And talking about predictions, we're only 3 minutes and 45 seconds away from the market opening. We'll be there in a minute. But look at this, guys. Wall Street is finally catching up to what stackers have known for years. This is the latest gold and silver price predictions. For gold, JP Morgan Chase is saying 6,300 by the end of the year. UBS is saying 62. Bull case 72. Wells Fargo saying 61 to 63. Deutsche saying 6. Goldman saying 54 for silver. Bank of America saying 135 to 309 by the end of 5 years. Citigroup saying 150. Keith Neumeyer saying 100 to 130. This isn't just about metals. It's about collapsing fiat currencies around the world, ladies and gentlemen. And I think I had one more piece of news here. Then we're going to go to the charts. Was it here? Yeah, I covered that. That's Wells Fargo up in theirs. This is a good one from a crustacean, guys. The Silver Wig, he might be in chat. He's one of you. But he put this out. It's a great thread here on X. You should go read it. 10 reasons silver is in a historic structural bull market. Ladies and gentlemen, 6 straight years of massive structural deficits, flat to declining primary mine production, explosive industrial demand, surging physical investment demand, U.S. officially listing silver as a critical mineral. Don't forget about that. That happened in December. Project Vault, America's new strategic stockpiles. Project Forge, Allied Coordination, critical minerals. And remember, we signed a action plan with Mexico, and there's all kinds of talk about price floors in that. We also did that with the EU, and there's talks about price floors in that. China's aggressive silver export controls. Remember, they restricted silver exports from the country January 1st to only 44 companies. And they literally on May 1st just restricted 100% sulfuric acid exports. That's a big one as well, ladies and gentlemen. Extreme physical tightness on COMEX and LBMA, which is the London Bullion Metals Association. That's in London, obviously. And geopolitical tensions. So go read that. Check that out. That is an epic one, and he is a crustacean. I think we're all caught up on the news. Oh, last piece of news before we go to the charts, ladies and gentlemen. What happens in the war room stays in the war room, mostly. Congrats to Mark, who won a Flash channel member giveaway last night in the war room. This is him spinning the wheel. He did win it, so big congratulations to Mark. That is mega. And now let's go to the charts. And now that we're at the charts, guys, if you have a question, please put it in chat. I can see chat now before I can't when I'm doing the news. So if you got questions, put it in chat. But thank you, everybody, for being here. Don't go anywhere. We're literally a minute and 15 seconds away from the market opening. And I need you guys to remind me in 5 minutes to switch back to Oneida. I know it's Onda, but I like Oneida. We have to switch back to Oneida in 5 minutes. So for this opening, we're going to go here to Pyth. And what do you guys think? Is it going to be a up or down? Are we going up? Are you guys team green? Are we going down? Are you guys team red? Let me know right now. And also, if you're excited for Bald Guy, he's coming up here in just about 2.5 minutes. We'll be bringing the bald man on. So prepare for him. So are you guys team green or are you guys team red? Let me know right now. And CIO Tribe, thank you so much for the super chat, is saying, me and Jarhead Sage's German Shepherd, Gretchen, was diagnosed with heart cancer. She has diamond paws. Sorry to hear that, CIO. I'm happy she's been in your life. I'm happy she has diamond paws, and I hope you have her for as long as possible. Sorry to hear that bad news. It's always heartbreaking. Guys, the only time I've... hold up. The only time I've cried in my adult life that I remember is when my daughter's rat died. It was devastating. It shook the family to our core. But ladies and gentlemen, her rats now are still alive. Popcorn and Houdini are still alive. Don't worry, they're still alive. Okay, the market's opening in 2, 1. The market is now officially open, ladies and gentlemen. And it is immediate green candle here. Silver at $75.38. And Bald Guy Money, I'm going to be bringing him on in 1 minute. Ladies and gentlemen, gold, look at this BGC. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a confirmed big green candle here with gold. Now, there's something we do on this channel that some scientists say works 90% of the time, every time. And ladies and gentlemen, it is the baby gator call. Okay, I'm going to try to do the baby gator noise. Here we go. How do you do the baby gator noise? Yeah. I don't know. Whoa, whoa, what was that? It was a giant lizard just jumped. That thing was massive. I thought I actually summoned an alligator for a second there. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I stream all over the world on Gold and Silver Adventures, and that one was in Boca Raton, Florida, roughly translated as the rat's mouth. I know it's mouse, but I prefer rat. The rat's mouth. And a scientist on the channel found out that when we play that clip, 90% of the time, every time, it can turn a red candle green or a green candle into a BGC. Ladies and gentlemen, it's science.
It's science.
So we're going to see if that plays out. And who's ready for Bald Guy? If you're ready for Bald Guy, chant Bald Guy in chat right now. Bald Guy. Bald Guy. Bald Guy. Okay, let me bring him up on screen here. Hold up. Okay, you got to turn down your speaker a little bit, Bald Guy. I'm getting some feedback. Ladies and gentlemen, that's Bald Guy adjusting his audio. A little bit lower. A little bit lower. Maybe turn it the other way. There we go. 1 second here. I think we're good. No, it's a lot of feedback. It's a lot of feedback. He's putting in AirPods, guys. He is a millennial. Bald Guy Money, how you doing, man?
I'm great, man. How you doing?
Good to have you on the stream. And look at this big green candle happening right now. We're up to $75.67. But can you just take 20 seconds and tell people who you are and how you started stacking?
Oh, geez. All right. So first of all, I'm kind of nervous to be on this show because you've got tons of energy. I feel like I'm just going to be like a wet fart on this show, but I'm going to do my best.
You're perfect.
To keep it going. So, look, I've been stacking since 2008. I became a stacker back during the global financial crisis when I saw Ben Bernanke print up $1 trillion out of thin air. And then borrow more money on top of it. At that point, basically, I studied economics. I was already working a corporate job. I worked in analysis. But at that point, you look at that as I was a young man, and you lose faith in everything at that point. You lose faith in the paper they're paying you every month to work the job. So I became a gold and silver stacker. And, over the years, I worked 16 years in the same company. I was the head of marketing and strategy working in the Middle East. Did I hear you correctly say that one of the viewers in the chat was from Kuwait?
Yeah, we got viewers from all over. And by the way, Bald Guy, I spent about 10 years in the Middle East, mostly Saudi Arabia. So I do speak some Arabic. But yeah, we've got viewers from Kuwait and Saudi Arabia and Lebanon tonight in the chat.
You were in Saudi, huh? Yeah. So I spent 7 years in Dubai, but I had all these different markets under me. I had Saudi, I had Lebanon, Kuwait. So I've been to all these places. But essentially, my job was for many years at the company that I worked at was to tell them what's going to happen so we can position ourselves to win in a certain macroeconomic, socioeconomic environment, right? So, just being able to play off of that and invest my money based on my knowledge there was second nature to me. But again, like I said, buying gold and silver was a steady part of what I've been doing, has been a steady part of what I've been doing since 2008, simply because I saw how quickly the paper currency can be devalued. So that's a major pillar of what I do. It's not the only thing I own. I don't have 100% of my net worth in gold and silver, but it's a big part of what I do, and I believe in it now more than I ever have. So I started my YouTube channel back in 2021. Maybe some of your viewers have seen it. I called it Bald Guy Money because I never intended on it to actually be taken seriously or to become as large as it has. But, it's been an unexpected success. I retired from my job a couple years ago, and now I do this to keep me busy all the time. And thanks for having me on the show. I love to be able to spend a Sunday night with some fun, interesting people.
And thank you for coming on. And ladies and gentlemen, he is a supporter of the Crustacean Nation. So if you're looking for a fun channel with a bald guy who's got a lot of life experiences and is very knowledgeable and intelligent, make sure to go check him out and smash like. But bald guy, I got a couple questions for you if you don't mind if I can run through them.
Shoot, let's do it.
Okay, the first question, Michael D in the chat going absolutely insane. Michael D just did $100 super chat, and he says, Bald Guy Money and International Stacker, thank you both. Your insights and wisdom got me stacking gold and silver hard in 2024 and delivered huge returns. Loving the live updates from Bald Guy Money, Patreon. Proud to support you both. Keep on stacking. Wow, that's awesome, Michael D.
Oh, hold on, because Michael D did the same thing during my video premiere today. So he's in for 200 today. Michael, man, God bless you, brother, man. Thank you so much for your generosity. And I also saw earlier, I think it was Chris Shemek also gave $10. I see him in my premiere chats all the time as well. So special shout out to Chris as well.
Special shout out to Chris, and thank you so much, Chris, and both of you for being channel members. So the first question for you, Ball Guys, from Paul Fern on X, and he says, with all the thumbnails around of silver going to 300, going to 500, doesn't that mean the economy and or the dollar would be in a really bad way? Would it be collapsing? If it were to go that high, so silvers go to 300 to 500, would it mean that a reset of the currency is coming, whether it's designed by Besant or the WAF? Like, is everything going to come crashing down if gold and silver go that high?
Well, I think that's a bit of an exaggeration. I used to hear people say, what's the low price of a loaf of bread going to be when gold is $5,000 an ounce? You used to hear this all the time. Well, gold is $5,000 an ounce. Gold was $5,600 an ounce. So, let's not get carried away with the idea of a total collapse and the Walking Dead is going to be our reality or something like that. We are in, a higher inflationary kind of environment right now. Okay. And of course, we're being lied to. The CPI isn't at all accurate. The latest CPI says 3.3%. Try 7, 8, 9% is probably more like it. So we're in a high inflationary environment. Do I think we're working towards some kind of a reset deliberately? No, I don't think these guys want to relinquish their power over the system and their ability to print money on demand. Okay. No sane person would want to give that power up, right? And if anything, they would have done it back in 2008 because they had the perfect opportunity to do some kind of reset with the global financial crisis, right? But they didn't. What they did was, they begged on their hands and knees to China to borrow money. That's when China bought all those US treasuries, right? They printed up another $1 trillion and they bailed the system out. So they don't necessarily want to give up the system. But at some point, I think there is going to be a moment where there are certain things forced upon the system and there are going to have to be changes made, but they're going to be gradual. Think more evolution as opposed to revolution. And I think that's what we should be expecting. But gold and silver are definitely, specifically when we're talking in a monetary sense, gold is going to be a major part of that. Less so silver, but that doesn't mean that the value of silver isn't going to multiply many times versus where it is today. So, when we're talking about $300-500 silver, maybe that's not necessarily the target that I have. I recently did a call with Michael Oliver. That's what he's talking about. And he's even talking about getting there by summer. I'm not 100% on board with that, but, let's see what happens, right? I have a lot of respect for Mr. Oliver, but I think these targets are more a sign of what we're going through right now, and that is a rapid debasement of paper currency. But having 1 ounce of silver at $300 is not, people call it incorrectly, in my opinion, hyperinflation. Hyperinflation, I'd have to pull up the definition, but I think it's more than 1,000% inflation in the course of 12 months, right? Yeah. So, when you're hitting 10, 15, 20, 50% inflation, it feels hyper to you, but real hyperinflation is, what you were talking about in the intro, where you go from millions to billions to trillions in a matter of a few years, right? Yeah,
exactly. And no, I agree with you. And I do think a reset is coming in a sense, but not the traditional sense where they're going to have to go back to sound money. I think that what will happen is it'll be like a switch up, kind of like they did in 1971 when they took us off the gold standard and nobody really noticed. So I think the key here is they're going to want to get us onto a digital currency. Why? Because it's max tracking, max taxation, and they'll say, hey, here's your digital wallet. They'll do like a little $250 stimmy for everybody in there. So I do think a reset is coming, but I think it's going to be something like that, not the return to sound money, because you hit the nail on the head. If it's backed by gold and silver, they can't deficit spend. And what do politicians love to do? Spend the money. And we're going to the next question here on X from 33 Golf Breeze. And he's saying, will buying silver be made illegal for the evil speculators and only corporations can buy it? So what he's basically saying is, since it's so necessary, will eventually only corporations be able to buy it, and stackers, all we can do is sell? Is it going to be some new rule or law, you think?
No, I don't think so. You know what I've been arguing for some time is that they're going to use tax against us in order to disincentivize us from stacking silver. So, for example, in Europe, right, there is in most European countries a value-added tax, and it's added onto everything you buy. You buy a TV at the store, 23% is already built into the price of the television. You buy a keyboard, 23% is in the price of that keyboard. It's already built into the price that you see advertised at the store. Now, on gold, pure gold, you don't have that tax, right? So you buy that, basically at a small premium above spot, that's fine. But on silver, you've got the 23% VAT on top of the price of silver. Now, today it works well enough to kind of discourage a certain, let's say, cohort of people from stacking silver. But once the currency devaluation starts to accelerate, that is not going to deter people probably from stacking physical silver. So what is going to happen, and I think this is probably going to be a trend around the world, is you're going to see those taxes on buying precious metals, or like the kind of capital gains style tax when you want to cash in on them, go up to a point that maybe people are going to be disincentivized from it. But I don't think ultimately it's going to work. It's going to incentivize also the creation of a black market. And like you were saying with respect to the digital currencies, I think there is a big opportunity with kind of metals-backed crypto as a way of sound money. Of course, it's going to be kind of privately managed at first, so there's going to be a trust aspect. But I mean, in the United States, money was private for many years before the Federal Reserve was created, and they kind of unified that under the Federal Reserve note. So I think that we're going to see a lot of changes. Probably what the final thing is going to be is something that nobody, even the smartest people, thought of. But this is the kind of direction we have to think in, and we have to remember that precious metals, no matter what happens, are going to play a fundamental role there, because the paper, like you said, from millions to billions to trillions, that's the direction it goes in.
Exactly. And I did want to shout out Old Dirty B Garage. I can't say the word here because I'll be censored, but Old Dirty B Garage, not only did he give a super chat earlier, thank you so much, Old Dirty B, but he also replied on X calling you bad guy moolah. What do you think about that?
ODB, I know ODB. I am a bad guy, Just ask my kids. They'll tell you I'm a very bad guy, and my neighbors will tell you I'm a mean guy.
There you go. And I got a question coming in here from Larry. Larry, thank you so much for the super chat. And he's saying basic charts are helpful, but pundits who use Chaikin, Money Flow, RSI, Bollinger Bands, who protect doom for metals, don't understand that stochastics weren't designed for gold and silver. I'm tired of these chartists. What's your take, bald guy?
Yeah, I mean, I would tend to agree with that. I think when you're talking about short-term movements and understanding, okay, let's say I have $5,000 I want to buy silver with. Understanding, you set two levels. That's how I always do it. I set two levels. I say, this is the first pullback level, and this is where I'll use, for example, 60% of my budget. And then if we get to this level, I'll use another 40% of my budget, right? Using technical analysis, knowing how to do that, absolutely helps there. So at least you're not going into the gunfight without any bullets in your gun, right? That said, when you're talking about some of the stuff these guys are talking about, and here we're talking about guys like Christopher Mullen, Gareth Soloway, specifically Christopher Mullen, he was scaring people last summer when gold was kind of chopping between $3,300 an ounce and $3,500 an ounce before the big breakout that we saw in August, telling people that gold, according to his data, was going back to $2,500 an ounce. Now, that might sound like an innocent prediction, but I had people on my Patreon literally writing to me, asking me about Chris Vermeulen's prediction, and even one person who sold their gold at around $3,200 or $3,300 an ounce based on Chris Vermeulen's kind of hope that it would go back to $2,500, thinking he would buy it back. Now, I talked him off of that ledge. He ended up getting back into a price for around what he sold it for. So it was no harm, no foul. Come August, he rode the wave up. So, that was one soul saved. But, I think a lot of these guys, the thing that really bothers me most about them is that they'll all look you dead in the eye and say, I'm very bullish on gold over the next 3 to 5 years or some stuff like that, but it's going down to here, so don't buy or sell it and then buy it back. And it's like, listen, guys, when you're talking to people who are saving for their retirement, trying to save up and build wealth over the long term, you have to park your trading nonsense at the door, and you need to at least qualify that and tell people, listen, if you're preparing for retirement, if you're using gold as, for example, a vehicle to have in 20, 30 years to be able to maybe slowly sell off in bits to supplement your retirement, forget about what I'm saying. Stay on a schedule and keep buying. But these guys don't do that. They're looking for attention. They're looking for people to buy their services. And, Gareth Soloway's service isn't cheap. And I'm not saying anything bad about Gareth per se. I don't think he's a bad guy. I think a lot of the things he does are good. He is a technical trader and he is a day trader. The problem is you get a lot of people who want to be investors, and then they get into the day trading and they end up losing their shirts, and all they have at the end of the day is themselves to blame for it because they weren't able to understand the difference between day trading and investing.
No, exactly. And around here, we call that diamond claws, having those diamond hands. If you're doing it like, guys, first off, we're not financial advisors. I'm just some dude on the internet with crabs. But if you're stacking gold and silver, it's not a short-term game, right? It's a mid to long-term game. If you try to do it short-term, you might get lucky. You might lose your shirt, right? So that's a great point you made there with the technical analysis. If you're stacking for the long-term like myself, like Bald Guy, many other stackers are doing, then don't get all frizzled or frazzled when you see some of these technical analysts saying certain things. But guess what? Chris Vermeulen has actually turned quite bullish recently. I don't know if you saw that, Bald Guy, because I do follow everybody, and I was like, wow, Chris Vermeulen is getting bullish, so that's a good sign. I did want to shout out real quick.
Or it's a bad sign.
No, it's not. It's not the reverse Kramer. Don't worry. Kramer's bearish on gold right now, so we're safe. But America First, thank you for the super chat. And America First said, epic collaboration here. Bald Guy Money, we appreciate you joining us. Your knowledge is invaluable. So I wanted to pass that to you. That was America First. And
heck yeah, America First. I know you, America First.
There you go.
You're the man. Love your name, too.
There you go. Now, the next question is coming in from YouTube, and it's from Silver Heist, and he said, who had more fun at Germania Mint Tour, you or Bald Guy? Did you have fun there?
I don't think they like me there, to be honest with you. Like, I had a good time. They were very nice to me, but I don't think they really care for me very much. I really love their product. I've been a fan of Germania Mint for a long time, but every time I see them at events now and stuff, I feel like they're like, oh no, not this guy. So,
dude, I'm sure
I had a
they
great
love
time,
you.
though.
They talked about you when I went. They like you. They told me about you, and they like you. Don't worry about it. But I got a question for you. Everyone's dying to know. Oh, what is that? Germania Mint Gold?
So this is 1/200th of an ounce Germania Mint Gold.
Sick. Nice.
What's the question?
Oh, did you meet Viola?
Viola. Viola's the blonde?
No, Viola is the robot. She's different. You might not. I gotta play a quick 15-second clip here. You might not be able to hear or see it, but ladies and gentlemen, when I was in Poland, deep in the Germania Mint, I met a girl. She's Polish. She has one arm, built like a brick house. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Viola.
Yep. What's the robot's name?
Viola.
Viola.
Ladies and gentlemen, she's different. So that was her, Bald Guy. What did you think of Viola when you're deep in that mint? Did you see her working?
Oh, yeah, absolutely, I did. Yeah, I didn't know they had a name for it, to be honest with you.
I asked in my video, I'm like, what's her name? They're like, Viola. I'm like, okay, cool. Okay.
Nice.
Next question here.
I
from
like
you.
that part of Poland. It's a very nice part of Poland, by the way, where they have that
Dude.
mint. I love driving through the mountains there.
Did you go to the coin shop there? That was where Germanium Mint started. Did you get in there or no?
You know what? Unfortunately, I wasn't able to get there because it was closed while I was there. But next time, maybe.
Yeah.
If you like
Yasik.
me, really.
Tell Yasik I sent you. He'll give you the best deals. All right, next question coming in from YouTube. It's from It Fits Magic. He's saying, realistically, how much longer do you think the fiat dollar has left in its lifetime before it either goes to zero or before they roll it into something new but call it the same?
Well, I mean, if they roll it into something new and call it the same, did it really go away? So, when is it going away? I've been hearing people since the global financial crisis saying that it's going away imminently. Yet it's still here today. It doesn't necessarily have to go away. The British pound was the reserve currency for the world for many years, and it still exists today. It never went away. It just occupies a different part of the financial landscape right now. So I think the dollar can stay around for a long time. But it doesn't necessarily have to be the reserve currency that it is today. And I mean, we already know it's losing that status already as, foreign non-US central banks now have more gold in reserve than they have US dollars. So, I don't really have a great answer for that. But I think that we need to think less about the dollar disappearing totally in this apocalyptic disaster scenario, and we have to just think about more inflation and more devaluation, and kind of looking at some of the examples for those people who have watched my channel before about how the price of an iPhone has declined when measured in gold. From the first iPhone launched in 2007, which cost almost 0.8 ounces of gold, to today, the latest iPhone that was launched last year. Today, at today's gold price, it costs less than 0.2 ounces of gold. That's what we need to focus on. We don't need to focus on this fear and this apocalyptic stuff, because at the end of the day, that's probably not going to happen. But the devaluation is it is a guaranteed thing.
I agree with you, and I think the point here is the dollar can change completely without it being apocalyptic, right? So I do think the currency is going to change. Every currency changes around 30 to 50 years. Some of them hyperinflate and go crazy like we saw in Venezuela, like we're starting to see in Iran right now. But I think the move for the dollar is it's just going to change slowly. You're not going to notice it's happening. It's going to be that digital solution. It's going to be great because it fights money laundering and terrorism. But I think it's designed for the max taxation, max control. So that's kind of where I'm at. Do you think I'm on base with that?
100%. Yeah. I'm not like one of these. I don't think we're going to be living in The Walking Dead anytime soon. I think, with technology and so on, things are advancing. A lot of people, their criticism of Bitcoin, right, is what happens when the lights go out. Okay, fair point. But, I'm over 40 years old now. And the last time I ever went for more than 3 or 4 hours without electricity was when the electricity plant Niagara Falls went out, and the whole northeast of the United States and south northeast of the United States and the southeast of Canada kind of lost power, and that was when I was like 12. So that was 30 years ago. So these kinds of scenarios, they don't these arguments, they don't work on me. They roll off me like water on a duck's back.
But you should always be prepared. I do speak preparedness. So like my day job before I went full-time YouTube, I traveled the world helping countries prepare for, respond to, prepare for disasters at like high, like country, city level. So it is important to prepare, guys. Even FEMA says you should be able to go 72 hours to a week with emergency food and water to support yourself. The likelihood of a true grid down scenario for a prolonged period of time, I agree with you, is highly unlikely. But kind of that midterm, we saw that blizzard come into Texas and people didn't have power for a week, right? So you should still be prepared, but I don't think you need to build your own nuclear power plant. But guess what, ladies and gentlemen? I am prepared for longest scenarios. And Bald Guy, if it does end up going down, just get your family to my compound. We'll be okay. Just bring your gold and silver with you. Does that sound good?
I'm a prepper myself. I'm building a new cottage now that is very well equipped. So, I do these kind of things. Yeah. But again, being a prepper doesn't mean changing your entire lifestyle to make your entire life about that prep. You know what I'm saying?
Don't be scared. Be prepared. And thank you so much to Guacho in chat for that super chat. And he says, IS and Bald Guy Power Stacking Team here. What do you think about products like Glint for another buying method for gold and silver?
To be honest, I don't know much about it. I've been asked about it a few times by members of my Patreon. Maybe just call me old-fashioned. What I understand best is buying gold and silver bullion. It's in my possession. I have it. I have full control over it. And I think, if you're allocating 10 to 20, maybe 25, if you're getting up there in years, maybe 30% of your net worth, that's great to have it in that physical hidden away somewhere that only you can access it. When it comes to these products where you actually spend the gold, like I assume this is an aspect of that glint. I don't believe in spending gold. I believe in Gresham's law. I believe that the bad money chases out good money. So why would I want to spend gold when I can spend my dollars in Poland zlotys and then save my gold because I know it will be worth more later, right?
Yeah, and I've never used Glint, but I've got asked the same questions. I just got to get motivated enough to look into it. But guys, there's going to be all kinds of programs and things that come along as we progress. The main thing is if you don't hold it, you don't own it. Shields are made of metal, like Lynette Zhang says, physical gold and silver, right? So I'm a proponent of physical stacking. I do have some mining stocks and other stuff. I think Glint does help you like buy and help you spend. But I'll tell you what, like Florida just passed HB, House Bill 999, pun was intended on that, to help people transact in gold and silver, making it legal tender. So I think the argument there is instead of keeping people keep dollars or zlotys or whatever in their bank account every month to make payments. Well, they see that as a way of keeping their spending money immediately out of that paper fiat currency, immediately into that digital gold or silver, and then spending it through that system. So a lot of that stuff's coming down the road. Texas is working on stuff. It's an interesting topic, but it's something I definitely need to get smarter on when you talk about programs like Glint and stuff. So guys, you do have my commitment. I will look into that. But Bald Guy, something just happened. There was a gap when we opened. We gapped up from about $75.42. We went all the way to $75.99. We did drop down. We filled the gap. So I've got a 10-second clip I've got to play right back real quick. So Bald Guy will be right back. Ladies and gentlemen, we filled the gap.
We fill that gap, turn the candle green. Close that gap, stack silver with me. We fill that gap, turn the candle green. Close that gap, stack silver with me.
Stack silver with us. And ladies and gentlemen, North Star Stacker in chat, thank you for the super chat saying, hello from Ontario, Canada. Precious metals will always be the way. Thank you so much for that. In America First with another super chat saying, all I need is a floor price of $150 and I can retire. I'm hoping by this time next year, which will be my 40th birthday. Likelihood on your opinion, I'm 100% off-grid prepper, also a Bald Guy money. That's awesome, America First. So, Bald Guy, there's been a lot of talk with like the action plan that the United States made with Mexico since silver became a critical mineral in December. There's an action plan with the UK. There's a lot of talks about price floors in there. And the thought process behind price floors in the United States is to make it to put in a bottom price so companies see it worthwhile to build smelters and refineries and mining operations in the United States. Do you think it doesn't specifically say for silver, it just says critical minerals. Do you think a price floor is coming in the United States for silver? And if so, do you think it's a bullish thing or is it a bad thing? What do you think?
Yeah, I think there's a soft price floor, and I think it's already kind of been implemented, and I would wager it's around $70 right now. But I think this is going to be a dynamic price floor, especially with China importing so much silver in the month of March. You're going to see this competition for critical minerals, whether it's silver, copper, or lithium, or magnets, and so on. You're going to see that competition intensify. So that price floor is going to have to be dynamic depending on the market environment. And I could see right now, again, maybe just to give a little bit of background for the people who don't watch me, why I believe the price floor is already at $70 an ounce is because in the fourth quarter of 2025, the average price for silver closing price was $58 an ounce. Yet Hecla Silver Mining sold silver right around $70 an ounce. That was the realized price. And about 9 months earlier, Debbie Wasserman Schultz, who was on the subcommittee for critical minerals purchased Hecla Mining stocks. And this was just one of those kind of things that I had observed. So I'm really looking carefully for when they release earnings next week to see what their realized price on silver was, because I suspect that was a sign that that could be where that price floor for silver was. And I think that price floor could move up for silver. Now, is it bullish? Is it bearish for silver? I think the fact that we're discussing these things in and of itself is extremely bullish. Of course, I don't want to ever hear the word ceiling, but if we're talking about floor, that just tells me that can always be pushed up and be dynamic with the market. What we should be skeptical of is when we hear people talking about revaluation of gold, pegging gold to the dollar and creating a peg or a ceiling on the price of gold, like we had when gold was pegged at $35 to 1 ounce of gold after 1934, because that created an artificial ceiling for gold that once it was broken in 1971, we saw how the price of gold reacted. So price floor, very bullish. I never want to hear the word price ceiling. I will say that.
I fully agree with you. And if it's a ceiling, it's going to be a glass ceiling, because eventually we'll break free and shatter through that. I do believe that. I did want to shout out Jeff Stout in chat. Not only did he give 5 memberships earlier, but he's been a channel member for over 4 months now, part of the Shell Brigade. Thank you so much. And I got another question for you here. This one's from YouTube. It's from Captain Titus. And he says, how difficult is Polish to learn, to read and write and speak? And Bald Guy, are you an American? And then you moved to Poland? Give us a little background to there.
So first off, hey Jeff, what's up, man? Congratulations for giving away those memberships. I saw that earlier. Yeah, I'm actually from Canada, and is it hard to learn? Yeah, it's not easy. It's kind of a tough. It's kind of a tough language to learn. I'm from Ontario, like that one guy earlier said he was from Ontario. I think he gave a super chat. I'm from Windsor, Ontario, so right on the border with Detroit, Michigan, and yeah, so I moved here back in 2007, I want to say it was. I was just married, and yeah, it wasn't easy to learn Polish, but listen, if you put yourself out there, you're willing to make mistakes, you can do it. Yeah, I have a pretty good memory, so that helps as well.
And, you know, I should have greeted you in Polish when you first came on. I should have said dziękuję bardzo, because I learned that when I was out there. I probably
thank you very much.
Oh, that's thank you very much. Yeah. Thank you for coming on. Exactly. That was what I'm trying to say. So we got 2 quick questions in chat. So I've got there's a lot of memeology on this channel, if you can't tell by the funny clips and stuff. But there's a gentleman asking a question right now. His name is Jonathan, and he's trying to get soup. He's no soup Jonathan. So basically the story behind that is we got a lot of great members like Mike D, Jeff, Alpha Crab, Rudy Rude Boy, and others that gift memberships frequently. And every time John would say no soup for John every time it came. And now for the last 3 weeks, we've been trying to get John soup, but he never gets it. So here's his question. Mr. Bald Guy, should I sell some of my silver to invest in soup? Do you think it's a good investment?
Hell no, man. No soup for you.
No soup for John. You heard it there. Okay, one more question in chat. This is from General Gaiman. He's saying, I have a question. What do you guys think about SLJY and its dividend?
SLJY, I assume that's some kind of silver mining ETF. I don't know what's in it. So
I feel like that's the one connected to SILJ, I think, but it gives a dividend. I don't know. I have to look into that one. I think it has to do with that one.
You know, I do this thing where I have to say I plead the fifth because I don't want to incriminate myself as being an idiot. So, there you go. If I don't know, I'll just tell you straight up. I don't know.
There you go. Okay, and I did want to shout out real quick before we go to the next question. Big thank you to Oli Stacker. Oli Stacker just gifted 5 memberships. Those went to Thomas. Those went to AG. It went to Christian. It went to Churl. It went to Ned. Say thank you to Oli Stacker. Check out your new custom channel member emojis. I'll see you guys in the war room next time we do a war room. And I hate to say it, Bald Guy Money. I'm about to play a 10-second clip. I hate to say it. No soup for John.
Please, sir, I want some more.
No soup for John.
Taste the soup.
We try. No soup for John.
Good soup.
No soup for John.
No soup for you.
No soup for John. It's all
Aha.
There we go, and we're back. That's the clip for No Soup for John. The next question in chat is from YouTube, and it's from LV Golf, and he says, when the bull market is over in the metals and with metals, what will be the haircut? And what do you think? And do you think we are halfway to the top? So What's going to happen when we hit the top peak of the bull market? We get a little pullback or a new normal. Is it going to go euphoric and drop 50%? What do you think?
Well, the question is what's the environment going to look like then? Because after the 2011 top, what really pushed that top up was the European sovereign debt crisis. A lot of people forget that, especially people in North America. They forget that, Greece was on the brink, Iceland was on the brink, Italy and Spain looked to be in very bad financial condition. A lot of these countries were bankrupting. The entire, euro was kind of thrown into question. But eventually they got things under control and things settled down, so the metals pulled back. I don't think you're exactly going to see something like that, but but potentially a 30% pullback in the price of gold and a 50% pullback in the price of silver. I think that's perfectly reasonable. Now the only question is, how long does that last, and when does the next wave up begin? Because I could realistically see us moving up solidly until 2028, until we take a pause. Maybe that's when we experience that 30% haircut on gold, 50% haircut on silver. But then I think it's going to be quite quick when we start taking off again. And the key date that I'm looking at is 2033, because 2033 is the year that the Congressional Budget Office in the United States is already telling us they're running out of money for Social Security. That is, Social Security recipients in the United States are going to have to take a 25% haircut on the benefits that they receive from Social Security. But of course, knowing politicians and how important it is to deliver on promises that never should have probably been made in the first place, or that were impossible to deliver due to other bad spending made, they're going to have to print the difference. And then we're going to enter not, of course, a hyperinflationary scenario, but the inflation is going to be a lot more pernicious than it is right now. And I think that precious metals are going to have another major wave up between probably 2032 and 2040 after that, because of those reasons. And by the way, these are not only American problems. These are also problems that we see in Europe as the population is aging. And of course, the social benefits for older people are very rich in Europe and in China as well, where, the one-child policy created a major issue with respect to being able to take care of retirees in that country. This is a global problem, and we're really seeing things. If you want to see a great model of how things are playing out, take a look at Japan, because that's the future of a lot of our countries.
Yeah, and I've been to Japan. I had a great time, and you were recently in Japan. I saw you were doing some sumo wrestling training. So are you planning to come out of retirement and get into the wrestling? Like, what's going on there?
For all my Japanese viewers out there, konnichiwa, so desu ne. I love sumo. Am I going to do some sumo? No, I don't think. I would have to gain a lot of weight, but I love sumo. Let me tell you, if you've never watched it, you really should just give it a chance. There's a tournament that's starting on May 10th, and you can find it on YouTube, easy to find. Look, these are like intense fights, huge guys. This is real stuff, and you get a resolution within like 20 seconds. And then the next bout starts, and you just keep getting bouts, and it's 20 seconds, and you keep getting winners, and that goes on for 15 days until the guy who's won the most fights is crowned the winner. It is absolutely enamoring. I love it. Highly recommend it.
And you know what? If I ever end up showing my face on my channel, I'm going to fly wherever you're at in the world. We're going to get those big sumo suits, and I will challenge you to a sumo wrestling competition live on air. So that might come eventually. I did want to shout out the Alpha Crab with the super chat, and he said, "Ball guy money, you're way better than a wet fart." Thank you. So that was a response to you. The last question, now there's plenty more questions, but the last one that was submitted ahead of time is from Silver Serpents, and they're saying, what's a good way for the average low budget stacker to start dipping their toes into stock investing in gold and silver? Is it a trading app? Is it like the typical brokers like E-Trade? For someone who knows nothing, where do they start? What do they do?
I mean, if you're going to do something over the long term, was up, it doesn't necessarily mean anything for the metals that you're holding in your hand, but it does mean something for managing the costs and the profit margins for these mining companies. So remember, that should be maybe if you're you're looking at your entire precious metals exposure. The miners should maybe be
hold
about 20%.
Hold 1 second. People are saying the audio dropped. Oh, it's back. Okay, keep going. The audio's back. It dropped for a second. We're good. Keep going. Sorry about that.
All right, sorry. So, if you're looking at the entirety of what you have as exposure to precious metals, maybe you should limit to 20% in the miners, because again, it's a bit more speculative and has a lot more outside factors that impact the value of these stocks. That said, if you don't know anything, start with the ETFs, the big ones, GDX, GDXJ. If you're really bullish on silver, maybe look at SIL, SILJ. And, if you're on those trading apps, you can even buy fractional shares of those things and they'll follow up. But, I, in many circumstances, start with the ETFs to get kind of like the base of my portfolio done. And I search in the ETFs to find some stocks that I think are interesting. I research them and add them individually to my portfolio. It's also a nice way to do it. And again, you can start on any of the trading apps. I don't think you need to do anything special to get that exposure.
And I agree with you. And guys and gals, remember, investing in individual companies is way riskier than it is like an ETF, which is a bundle or a bunch of different stocks, right? And again, not a financial advisor, just some dude on the internet with crabs, but ETFs are a safe way to start to put your toe in there, figure things out, see what you like, and expand from there. My website's coming soon, Bald Guy, and on there I'm going to share every single stock I'm invested in. But the key point here, and I have a disclaimer there, I'm invested in some exploration companies, which are extremely high risk, but if they deliver, it's massive returns, right? But only a handful of those. The majority of my stuff is ETF, and then the big companies like, Fortuna and, the big boys, PAAS and all those. So, but I do like to have a little bit of fun with it. But you hit such a strong point, is that your main stack should be that physical gold and silver. And I agree with that totally. And I didn't get in the stocks till I hit 4,000 ounces of silver because I felt so strong about that. But then I got thinking, well, I believe so much in gold and silver. I know the fundamentals. I feel so strongly about where we're headed. And I, for a long time, I would always say, and still do, I say that like gold and silver's not a true investment in terms of being leveraged how you normally could be in the stock market. But then I started looking at mining companies. Like if we're in a shortage, I believe, the fundamentals, we got to get more of that out of the ground. I saw those as opportunities to kind of make more paper currency to turn into more gold and silver along the way. So that was kind of my thought process and stuff going into it. So I agree with you, starting ETFs and then, see where it leads you. What do you think about?
Let me add something. Last year, I also started buying oil stocks. Now, of course, people in the comments section kept writing, Doomberg says oil's going to $30 a barrel. And I said, basically, the return that you're getting on a certificate of deposit or a money market account or a bond is dropping consistently, and the return that you're getting on a dividend on these oil stocks is decent. You have plenty of time between now and whenever oil hits $100 a barrel, is what I was saying last year, to wait for some appreciation on the price of the stock. So I would also say to people who are considering mining stocks, also consider a small position potentially in some of these oil energy stocks, because it's a great hedge against the mining stocks in case you see major increase in the price of energy that negatively impacts those mining stocks. At least you have a hedge and you have another stock that's going to benefit and pay you a dividend at the same time. So it's just food for thought for people out there watching and thinking about getting into it.
Yeah, I agree with you. I am in a royalty as well. I think it's Gold Royalty. I'm in them. And then I'm also in some uranium, because if we're going to need more power going forward, and the cleanest power you can get that actually works 100% of the time is nuclear. So I do have a small position, nothing crazy in uranium. Are you in uranium at all or no?
No, you know what? I've been meaning to educate myself more about it because, of course I understand the argument, right? But I never invest in something I don't really fully understand. And uranium is just one of those things I don't fully understand at this point.
Well, there's a good royalty. It's UROY, Uranium Royalty, and then there's UEC, which is connected to them, Uranium Energy Corp. I've had their CEO on the channel before. And then that they have kind of an indirect connection to Uranium One, which was the drama one. Remember with like Hillary Clinton and all that back then? I don't know if you heard about all that.
Frank Giustra, wasn't that Frank Giustra?
Yeah, selling it to they're selling uranium to Russia. What the heck? Yeah, all that. Yeah. Cool, man. Well, that's the end of the official questions. Guys, gals, if you got any questions, put them in chat right now. But I got a question for you. Where is silver headed? Do you have a crazy prediction? Are we going to $500 an ounce by September 27th? What do you think?
No, I think that probably close to the end of the year will be between $120, $130. I think by September, October, we could be challenging those January highs again, and then probably close within that range by the end of the year before heading off to a range of between $150 and $200 next year. And I think then we could probably get a bit of a slowdown. And that's probably going to happen early in 2027, by the way. Probably Q1, latest in the first half, by the end of the first half of the year. And then, then that's the time to reassess, right? You don't need to look too far ahead in the future. You set your target. What the analysis that I've done is telling me last year on September 7th, I did it. It was telling me level 1 was between $80 and $120 an ounce. We hit that. So now I'm looking at phase 2 is $150 to, it's actually $198 an ounce. Yeah, and I think we're going to probably get there early next year, but we'll probably finish the year right around the January high, 120, maybe make a new high, 130 before moving on there. And I think everybody will be satisfied with that, and anybody who's holding a silver mining stock is going to be extra satisfied with that.
Yeah, and I like what you're saying, and I think that does make sense. I do like Michael Oliver. And I agree with you. I think his call by summer is bullish. If it happens, I'll take it. But I would much rather close the year around 120, 130, 140. Because I would much rather have a slower, more controlled rise so we can build like stronger base, right? If you go up quickly, you go down quicker as well. My next major target is 152, but yeah, I don't think that's going to happen till maybe end of the year or starting in the next year. So I think we're pretty aligned on that. I do agree with that. Littlefoot Silver Stacker, thank you for the super chat. He says, Bald Guy Money, what was the last silver you bought?
What was the last? Actually, it's funny. I just bought 250 grams of silver. I know people are going to be like, what? Yeah, I DCA, I buy like a lot, often, probably every month almost.
Was it a bar or what was it?
Yeah, it was a bar. It's, I can't remember which one it was. It's just like a Credit Suisse or something like that. I only bought it last week on Thursday. Nice. So yeah, that's the last silver I bought.
Now I'm going to switch
8 ounces, I think, around.
Now I'm going to switch to my camera 1 second here, and I got to turn you back on here. Okay, you're on here. Now I have this piece, and I don't know if you heard it earlier, Bald Guy, you guys got to subscribe. And by the way, smash the like button. We only have 55 more to 600. We can do that. 1,000 people on the stream. I'm giving away over 48 ounces of silver soon, like 50 ounces of copper. There's gold. There's a germanium mint gold bar right there. But ladies and gentlemen, in the mail, I got from one of you. This came in from YouTube handle of Brett Waisley. He donated this for the mega giveaway. So this is a wood international stacker creation, and that is 1 ounce of 999 fine silver. So ladies and gentlemen, if you wanted the mega guy, you have 3 seconds to tell me to drop it. Otherwise, I'm keeping it. 3, 2. Oh, looks like I'm keeping it. Ah, they got me. Okay, another ounce. We're up to 49 ounces of silver in the mega giveaway. And, the best way to do dollar cost averaging, I think, Bald Guy, is to get it for free. What do you think about that?
Oh, yeah, I love getting it for free, but I don't often get it for free.
Well, if you want, you can enter the mega guy. And if you win, I will hand deliver it to you.
I would never want to take away 1 ounce of silver from somebody else that could get it for free. I'm okay on my silver, so I want to see somebody else get it.
I love that, and that's why I love doing the mega goss. I've done them for years, and I've given away a couple times a kilo of silver for first place, but the price of silver was much cheaper than it is today. But that's been some fun time, and you know what else has been fun, Bald Guy? We just hit $76, so we're hovering at about $75.96 an ounce right now in silver. We just kissed 76, and with gold, we filled the gap on gold as well, so let me play the clip.
We fill that gap, turn the candle green, close that gap, stack silver with me. We fill that gap, turn the candle green, close that gap, stack silver with me.
So we did fill that gap on gold as well, and it's currently trading at 4,627.84. And the thing I feel positive about, Bald Guy, is even with all the attacks, all the banker manipulation, I said this for years, because the market is manipulated. JP Morgan Chase paid a $920 million fine in 2020. Deutsche Bank, Scotia, like everyone did. That's undisputable, right? But I said eventually, and I go back to my profession of disasters. Eventually, it's going to be too much pressure to hold back. Just like when a hurricane comes upon shore and you have the storm surge, just when you've got a massive flooding event and a dam is going to overtop, eventually it's going to be too much energy to hold back. And I get people saying they're still going to control it. They're going to control it forever. And my response to that is we'd still be at $20 an ounce if the same paradigm was in play. What do you think? Am I a conspiracy theorist? Am I wearing a tinfoil hat, bald guy? What do you think?
No, you're a smart guy, I think, because just look what's happening in the oil market right now, right? When I was at this metals conference called Metalverse here in Warsaw, Poland. When was it, 2-3 weeks ago now? And you're talking to people who really are kind of connected in mining a little bit, and they're talking about oil is being sold basically between $140 and $160 a barrel, the physical oil itself, completely disconnected from the futures market, which clearly I think you could argue that there's been some manipulation recently in the futures market for oil. But at some point, the rubber has to meet the road when you're talking about the physical product itself. And we're seeing that play out with silver right now. And you're 100% right. They can't keep a lid on it forever, not in the 21st century. In fact, if you look since 2007, when smart devices were first introduced to the market, like the iPhone, like smart televisions, etc., are very silver hungry products on top of all of the other things that require them, EVs, military industrial kind of devices. So you just can't keep a lid on it. And at some point, again, the rubber has to meet the road, and supply and demand have to find a price equilibrium somewhere.
Any final thoughts, bald guy? Any final thoughts for all? We got 1,100 crustaceans on right now. We hit a peak of about 1,800. Any final thoughts for folks out there? What do you got for people?
Listen, just stay positive. I mean, there's a lot of doomerism in the metals community, and there's no reason for it. I mean, we understand the fundamentals of paper money. So we have a major advantage versus a lot of people out there who are operating on the premise that, people who still believe the dollar is somehow backed by gold. So, stay positive, do what you can in your own life to make, set goals and try to achieve them. If you're just starting out stacking, maybe set a goal of trying to get 1 ounce of gold and 20 ounces of silver. Once you've achieved that, set the next goal. But it's optimism that's going to get you to your target, not doomerism and not blaming, other people for things. Yeah, I get it. Things are super tough right now. Inflation is wild. It's out of control. People can't afford to buy a first house. A lot of young people in their 30s, it's depressing. It's an absolutely different reality than what we were told we would have. But being a doomer about it doesn't help anything. We just have to take everything one day at a time. And I just wish everybody out there who's watching this right now the absolute best. I hope you can make it. I know you can make it. And thank you very much for listening to me blab for the last half an hour or so and on my YouTube channel regularly.
And bald guy, I think you're totally right there. And I say it all the time on this channel. First off, I'm not a financial advisor, just some dude on the internet with crabs. But I say it all the time on this channel is it's not going to be an easy path. We know the fundamentals have not changed. We know there's a structural deficit. We know why we stack physical gold and silver, but it's going to be a long, dark road. It's going to be full of terrors. It's going to be scary. The mainstream media is going to be telling you it's going to zero. People are going to be like, oh, that's so dumb, people who do that. But I believe those with the intestinal fortitude to see the way through are going to be dancing with not only me, but bald guy money in the streets when we get to where we're going. So there he did the crab claws. He did the crab claws. Thank you so much, Bald Money Guy. Everybody, please chant Bald Guy Money in chat right now. If you're not subscribed to this gentleman, you need to be. And you all have my my promise. Next time I'm overseas in Poland, let's meet up and do a video. What do you think about that, Bald Guy?
I'd love that, man. That would be fantastic.
All right, well, I'll say again, Dziękuję bardzo. Thank you so much for being on, my friend. Take care, and guys, make sure to go sub him up, smash the like button, and enjoy his stream. He's got a great channel, so thank you so much, Bald Guy.
Cheers, brother. Thanks for having me on.
Cheers. And ladies and gentlemen, that was Bald Guy Money. Did you have fun? Did you like it? Did you love it? Do you want some more of it? Do you want him on the show again in the future? Let me know right now in chat. And ladies and gentlemen, I owe you all something that I didn't do. I owe you all something. We broke 68,600 subscribers. Thank you so much. That means, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for a big show.
Welcome to the 4th annual Crystal
Four
Light
time.
National Aerobic Championship featuring regional finalists
Four
from all across
time.
the United States competing for the title of America's best aerobic athlete.
Four time.
The reigning 1987 Crystal Light National Aerobic Champions.
Introducing the 4-time Crystal Light champion, International Stacker. Thank you so much. That was the big show. Thank you so much. And guys, we are literally only 40 subscribers away from the next big show. So if you want to see that again, make sure you subscribe, turn on those notifications, smash the like, guys. We're almost at 650. And again, you got to be subscribed. I'm giving away more than, one second here. I'm giving away more than, what is it now? What is it now? 49 ounces of silver. I'm giving away gold. I'm giving away copper very soon in the upcoming Megagon. I'm sorry, guys. Let me get my paper currency out of here. Let me get the Vietnam Dong out of here. Let me get this stuff off this physical gold and silver. But you got to be subscribed if you want a chance to win the upcoming mega giveaway, ladies and gentlemen. And we do have a BRC right now, a big red candle. But channel members, you have the new emoji for that. So drop it in chat right now. Are you guys having a fun time? Are you having a good time? So far, silver, remember, we just started trading at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and so far, we are up 0.59%. So over a 0.5% so far in market open. Gold's up 0.13% right now. Gold to silver ratio is coming down a little bit. We're at 60.9 ounces of silver for every ounce of gold. And yeah, ladies and gentlemen, what a wonderful stream. Let's see what you guys are saying to me here on X, formerly known as Twitter. Sam Woods agreeing. Look at this from Resource Alpha. Big thanks to International Stacker shouting out 2 of my posts during this live stream tonight. Really appreciate the support, brother. Always good to see the community connecting the dots. Thank you, Resource Alpha. And I do appreciate you, and I love that you're a crustacean. So thank you so much for your good content. And to continue to put that out, please. And ladies and gentlemen, chat's going crazy right now. Thank you, Mike D, for that super chat saying, great job, IS. That was a ton of great info. And guys, the next person I'm going to have on the live stream is going to be Silver Surfer. So if you guys are ready for Silver Surfer, put Surfer in chat. I got to talk with them and organize it. But that's going to be the next person on. But who do you guys want next? Do you want Yankee Stacking? Do you want Silver Dragons? Like, who do you want on here? Let me know. Do you want Jake from Hero Bullion back? Let me know. And Mrs. Chef Yoda, thank you so much for the $20 super chat. Says, put this towards your shipping and handling for the Megaga. I will, because it's going to be expensive. So thank you so much, Mrs. Chef Yoda. And ladies and gentlemen, Jeff Stout just gifted 5 International Stacker memberships. That went to Torrent. It went to Joseph. It went to Fake. It went to John. Oh, the wrong John. It went to John Moore. I'm happy you got it, John Moore, but it didn't go to No Soup, John. And it went to Igeli Kyo. So say thank you to Jeff Stout for those memberships. Check out your new custom channel member emojis. And to all the new members tonight, I'll see you on the next member-only live stream in the War Room. That's going to be tomorrow, Monday morning. I'll be live at 7:45 a.m. Eastern Standard Time for Market Open. And for all channel members, I will do a live War Room at the end of that live stream. What happens in the War Room stays in the War Room. Clothing is not optional. And I hate to say it, ladies and gentlemen, no soup for John.
Please, sir, I want some more.
No soup for John.
Here's the soup.
We tried. No soup for John.
Good soup.
And no soup for John.
No soup for you.
No soup for John. It's all
Man, I thought John got soup there for a second, but it was the different John. Thank you, Silver Atari, for becoming a channel member. You guys want Smart Silver Stacker on the stream? I think we could set that up. Who wants Smart Silver Stacker? Let us know. And Risk Taker Official in chat saying, wanted to let you know I found an Engelhard prospect around for only $3 above spot on Hero Bullion. It's underneath deals. Figured I would share that to the crustaceans. That's awesome, Risk Taker. I do love the Engelhard prospectors. And I actually, let me get this dirty paper fiat currency out here. I actually have, if I could find it super quick, I have a 1/2 ounce Engelhard prospector here. 1 second here. Where is it? Where is it? 1 second. Stay on target. It's right here somewhere. Is that it? No. I can never find these things when it's in here somewhere. Here it is. So I love the Engelhard Prospector rounds. They're vintage. And look at this. This is a 1/2 ounce Engelhard Prospector. So $3 over spot. That's pretty good for an Engelhard Prospector. So do go check that out. And guys, if you want $5 at spot, Big shout out to Hero Bullion. They do sponsor the YouTube channel. Thank you so much. If you go to Hero Bullion and you type up here starter, you could get 5 ounces of silver at spot. Free shipping. And guys, it's premium silver rounds. What I mean by that, look at this. It's radial lines. That's a security feature. So it will ship quick. It will get to you. Enjoy it. And it sounds like they also have a good deal on Englehard Prospectors. And that is the new channel member emoji that I see channel members dropping in chat right now. So thank you so much for that. And guys, Swag Daddy, do you guys want to see Swag Daddy's face? If you want to see Swag Daddy's face, put swag in chat right now. Swag Daddy says, I ordered my 5 ounces at spot from Hero Bullion today. Also got a BU Eagle. Looking forward to it getting here. Really was spot. I was a bit surprised. Congratulations, Swag Daddy. Guys, just the other day, remember, if you catch me in the wild, you get you caught the King Crab Challenge coin. And in the last 2 weeks, 2 of you have made the pilgrimage, or dare I say crab migration, down to Key West, Florida. And ladies and gentlemen, here is Swag Daddy live getting crabs.
I'm here in Key West, Florida, and some dude on the internet gave me crabs.
And then just right before that, I also met Cargo Bob. Hey, Cargo Bob, we're downtown Key West right now. You want to go get some soup?
No soup for John.
No soup for John, but there is a bounty, guys. There's 2 bounties. Steve looking for silver said, if John gets soup, he's gonna buy. Okay, Steve looking for silver said, as John gets soup by Monday evening, he's gonna donate 5 ounces of silver for the mega giveaway. And my bounty is long standing. Whoever eventually gets John soup is gonna get 3 no soup for John t-shirts. You can have all 3 of them, or I'll send the other 2 to whoever you tell me to do. So that's gonna be epic. Let's go back here to X. Sam Wood saying interesting. Lisa saying OMG, have to tune in for this one. Happy to have you, Lisa Warden. I hope you're enjoying the stream. Ken here says I'm saving for a 20. I'm saving for 20 1964 Kennedy half dollars. Hope it drops so I can get them faster, says Ken. And Blue Shadows here says I'm guessing the 1 billion mark will be reached a lot sooner than 2050. Yeah, for sure. And Yusuf here is saying, I have a cash for gold business. There is zero demand for 90%, so I melt everything except for Morgans and Mercury dimes. Those I keep for myself. Nice, Yusuf. And Joseph here is saying, who invented the corkscrew to open the wine bottle? Had to be aliens. Oh, we forgot to talk about aliens. We were going to talk about aliens. Ty here says, picked up this sick 2-ounce St. Michael piece yesterday. Guys, who's still stacking? Let me know what you got this week in silver. And I'm going to ask who's? I'm going to say, are you still stacking? Ty is. Who is still stacking? Let me know right now in chat. And then I'm going to go back to the charts here and answer you guys' questions here in just about 30 seconds. So give me 30 seconds. Let me get this out. Bleep. And then beep, beep, beep. Okay, cool. That's out. I just want to make sure to work through this. Thank you, Bogey, for putting out the live stream. Daniel saying, my favorite, especially at or below spot. More they melt, the more rare and valuable it becomes. Someone in the future, after I'm gone, will continue to love my collectibles. That's awesome. Hey, Tony Phoenix, thank you for putting it out. Thank you, Sublime Mad Dog, for putting out the live stream. And guys, make sure you subscribe to me here on X. Make sure you give me a follow. INTL Stacker if you want to skip to the business. Anytime, day and night, the business. I meant the news. Gold and silver news, anytime, day or night. If you want to be apprised even when I'm not live, check that out. And Bald Guy Money, thank you so much. Sicilian Stacker, thank you so much. And ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I am live pretty much every morning and every evening during the market time, so make sure you tune in for that. And again, I'll be live at 7:45 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, so smash the like button. Ladies and gentlemen, Bar just gifted 5 International Stacker memberships, and those went to that went to Rick, it went to Kevin, it went to Trillionaire, it went to Owen, and it went to JC Likes. Congratulations. Say thank you to Barbara. Check out your new custom channel member emojis. I'll see you all in the war room tomorrow morning. And I hate to say it, ladies and gentlemen, no soup for John.
Please, sir, I want some more.
No soup for John.
Taste the soup.
We tried. No soup for John.
Good soup.
Yeah, no soup for John.
No soup for you.
No soup for John. It's all
No soup for John, ladies and gentlemen. And okay, I'm going to turn off slow mode now. So slow mode is off. Guys, what a wonderful stream. If you've enjoyed it, please smash that like button. There's something we do on this channel to help out small creators. It's called a crab raid, and we go there, we flood their chat with crabs. We smash the like button. It's meant to be a blessing and not a curse. So here's the question. Do you guys want a crab raid? Steve looking for silver. Maybe we should, guys, because he has the bounty on the mega giveaway, and he's doing a giveaway right now on his channel. So if you want to go to Steve looking for silver, put Steve. There's also mobile coins. There's coining around. There's copper altcoins. There's Achilorexy. A bunch of people up. I'm thinking Steve looking for silver, though, since he's got the bounty, and it looks like he's got a giveaway, because I love when we go help smaller channels out. And I love when you guys win free gold and silver. I really do love that. It's a great way to dollar cost average. So let's see what you guys say in chat right now. But please smash that like button. And no, I really do appreciate you all so very much. And it does look like Steve is going to win. So ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go crab raid him. So when we go, smash the like button, flood the screen with crabs, and I'll see you all at 7:45 a.m. Eastern Standard Time for the market open, the day trading session starting with the COMEX. Shanghai, I don't think is opening back up yet, but we'll see the stock market open. Thank you so much. Thank you so much to Bald Guy Money for tuning in. And ladies and gentlemen, we're going to have more people coming on the stream and not the too distant future. Thank you so much. And I'll say CYOTNO. Catch you on the next one. Ladies and gentlemen, let's go crab raid right about now.